This is Lewis up for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. Always good to be joined with Dave Allen on a nice Monday evening. Yeah, before we do start, how's things, mate? How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you, mate. Are you all right?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. As I said, mate, better for speaking to you. Yeah, I guess before we jump into the weekend's action, it's only right to talk about yourself and your managerial stable. It's growing and growing.
Yeah,
Joe Howarth joined today, announced. Yeah, excited for the future with him.
yeah. You know what I said? I've never managed a boxer ever. Managing boxers is like not really. Once I enjoy it, do you know what I mean? Like I manage a few, but with my mates and that, and the box on the small hall starting out, it's not really a difficult job. You know, it's just knowing a few people, getting them on shows and stuff. There's not really much negotiating involved in small hall boxing. You know, it's ticket deals and all the rest of it. It's standard stuff. So, but yeah, Joe, he rang me and he said, look, I'm looking for a new manager. Would you manage me? I thought, not every day you get a fighter like that asking you to be involved because he's very good and he genuinely is. I wouldn't even, I won't waste my time. He's really, really good to be honest. I think he's had nine. I think he's lost one, but he's just a kid, you know. And when he gets things right, I think he'll be the best lightweight in the country in a couple of years' time. Yeah, so it's exciting. He's really, really good. I knew he was good when my dad watched him, and he said, "Bloody
Yeah,
hell, he's amazing, him." And I thought, "Bloody hell, he must be good," because my
yeah,
dad thinks Lloyd Melville are average, so
yeah.
so he must be all right.
Yeah.
Yes, it's exciting, really. I'd love the boxing me, so to work with fighters of that caliber, because I think he's really good, is exciting for me. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned there about sort of the managing side. It's something that you've not always been sort of sold to. What is the sort of reason for that? Is that because of stuff you've seen in your career, or how does it work?
you know, I'm not like a money guy, really. Do you know what I mean? Like, I manage and train boxers for like 3 years now. And when you tally up licensing fees as a manager and trainer, I might have broke even, you know.
Yeah,
Stevie boxing for the European title. I might have broke even, you know. I've not made any money training and managing. It's not about the money for me. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
And because I'm not money minded, money orientated, as a manager, it's difficult. But I do work hard when I manage my fighters. You know, I do work hard. I really, really annoy a lot of people. So yeah, you know, I only work with, I manage. I think I manage. This is my third fight. I manage now, fourth if Calvin gets sorted. So
yeah.
you know, I've got to have a personal attachment to him to manage because if not, you know, money's not a god, my god. So it has to be something. It has to be something I want to do.
Did have to talk about Joe Hayden as well. First stoppage victory. Yeah,
Yeah,
every time I speak to him, you always have a smile on your face, and it must be a bigger smile when he's getting these stoppages now.
yeah. He's you know what? He was 14 now as a pro because he had four amateur fights. And he turned pro, like we needed some experience. So I've been telling him, like, look, he could have stopped a few of them, but it's like, look, don't stop them, hold them up, you know, go the distance. And then moving forward has made things easier to be as active. Because if you're stopping kids, you know, these British gentlemen don't want to go near you. They don't want the 28 days. You have to get them in from abroad. It costs a fortune. So, you know, it has been capable of stopping kids, but you know, it doesn't make sense to do that really when you're starting out on the small low like Joe is. So yeah, the other day was the first time I said to him, I said, look, because Tottenham could get him out of there, put him down within the first minute, and then got him out there in the second. So he's boxing again in 6 weeks. Then he's out again 7 weeks after that. So you know the leash is off now. I expect stoppage after stoppage now, all the way up until British title level. He's that good. So yeah, it's exciting. He's inspiring Josh Padley today. He was getting ready for the Mark Chamberlain fight at Wembley. So yeah, things are going really well.
But yeah, and just before we do sort of get on boxing, I did also want to ask about, as you say, Calvin there. When does it look like we could see his pro debut? Because obviously there's been a few hold-ups, medicals, etc. But looking exciting.
Yeah, he sent off his stuff in January. You know, he failed his brain scan. A lot of people are failing brain scans at the minute, to be honest. And there's two reasons why. One of them, you have to go and have like an assessment. Um, so I've had another kid fail for that, and loads of people have been failed for that. You know, you go and do this assessment and you're fine. But Calvin's was something a little bit different. He has to have a CT scan, um, which he had last week. All looks good. So hopefully he'll box for the end of the year. So he deserves it. He's a really nice kid. And also got Steve Levy as well. She boxing 6 weeks as well. Still manager. I don't
Yeah.
train no more, but manager. So
Okay.
it's a very small but select team, and myself, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just look. I'm not Sam Jones. You know what I mean? I'm not
Yeah.
managing world champions and that, but
Yeah.
I'm managing training a really nice bunch of kids with a lot of potential. But obviously, it's a slow burner, because they're young and starting out. So enjoying it though.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I guess we'll move on now to this weekend's action. Israil Madrimov facing Terence Crawford. Crawford coming on top in a real close fight between the pair. I guess for that fight and the whole card, what did you make of it
Well, we're off to a bad start because I fell asleep before
all?
Crawford. You know what, the whole Eminem thing, like, I'm not interested in that. If I want to watch Eminem, yeah, I'll put YouTube on and search him. I'm an Eminem fan. I like all that lose yourself and stand and stuff,
Yeah,
but I don't want it at 5:30 in the morning. But what I
yeah,
will say is this: I bought the pay-per-view, yeah, for one
yeah.
reason, really, and that was Bakole and
We'll
Anderson.
get onto that. Yeah,
That was the main thing for me. Crawford Madrimov. I haven't seen him. Didn't see him.
okay. Okay.
I thought Madrimov was running close. To be honest, I think Madrimov's really good. You keep going up in weight, you're gonna struggle at some point. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
For
Yeah,
Crawford's going from lightweight to light middle and still be winning it against that kind of competition, he's one of the best fighters that's ever lived, in my opinion.
yeah. So, but I suppose you saying that and him moving up weights, that there is always the Canelo carrot has been dangled to Crawford.
Yeah.
And listen, it's a massive gap in weight, but is there not part of it that could be a sell where you've got a guy like Crawford who wants to be great so bad and he'd be willing to do that?
I mean, I'd watch it. I'd watch it. I'm not going to watch a concert at 5 in the morning in order to. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah, yeah,
Canelo Crawford, like, I think Canelo's too big for him. But if that fight is made, I'd be the first person to buy the pay-per-view to watch it because it's so
yeah,
intriguing. Crawford is amazing. I think Canelo's not what he was,
yeah.
but Crawford's boxing once a year and he's 36.
Hmm.
So, but I'd watch it. Of course, I watch it. I think Crawford's the best fighter of this generation.
Yeah,
You probably would argue. Lomachenko might and all,
yeah,
but yeah, Canelo Crawford. I'm not against seeing it, to be honest. I think Crawford deserves that money. But by the same
definitely.
token, I'd watch Crawford Ennis as well. I'd love to watch that fight. There's loads of
Yeah,
fights I'd love to watch Crawford in. But if he wants to Canelo fight, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. But he deserves it, don't he? He deserves whatever he wants to do at this point, really.
yeah, absolutely. I guess we'll talk on the real main talking point, and as you say, the reason that you bought the pay-per-view. A guy you've always raved, a guy you've sparred, and you've always sort of said how good he is. Martin Bakole getting a real statement win over Jared Anderson. Yeah, I think for people who do back Bakole, this was no shock to them, but yeah, a real good performance from Martin on Saturday night.
You know what? I've been telling everyone for ages now. Martin Bakole could be the best heavyweight in the world, yeah. And then when I give a prediction, I went for Anderson. I
I
really
didn't
like
realize
Jared.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, mate. I think Jared Anderson unbelievable. I think he's an
yeah,
unbelievable fighter. The matching is questionable, really, for 24-year-old kid boxing Bakole. But Anderson impressed me massively the other day.
okay,
I've not seen an heavyweight as fluid as that in both stances, and he was making Bakole, he makes it look brilliant. But Bakole, I think he is the best heavyweight in the world.
okay.
I think he probably beats everybody.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought that for a while, and then when the Anderson fight was made, I said Bakole would win. Then he got to fight day, and I went for Anderson. That's why I don't gamble no more.
Yeah,
But Bakole, he's so big, but he's so fast.
yeah,
He just puts his shots together so well. There's an aura about him, I think, as well.
yeah,
Jared Anderson's huge. Jared Anderson's 6'4", 18 stone. Bakole made him look like a baby, made him look like a child.
yeah.
Um, I want to see Bakole Zhang. That's what I want to see.
Definitely. I guess just before we do get onto that, what do you think are like you say about Barcoli being the key attributes? What do you think it is, as you say, is the speed, the size, the way that he throws it all together? That they are all key attributes that make him so good.
Yeah, it's the size of him, really. When I did a few rounds with him, he weren't that big back then, to be honest. He put a lot
Yeah,
of size on. And I think a lot. I think he looks out of shape, to be honest, don't he? He looks
Yeah,
he
yeah,
looked, he looked terrible the other day in terms of his condition, but he's just so relaxed. When I
yeah,
sparred him, what I took away from it was I couldn't believe a man that size could put 6, 7 punches together like he did. He just put 6, 7 together. I've sparred everybody, Fury, Usyk, none of them put shots together like that. None of them. I've been hit with a good 1-2 hook, a good 1-2 hook to the body. I've never been hit by a 1-2 hook, uppercut, body shot, hook. He just puts them together. And he doesn't even throw with any power. It's very fast because there's no power in it, but he's so big.
yeah.
Um, he's gonna take some beating, I think. Usyk, Usyk would Bakole would beat Usyk. I've no doubt in my
Wow,
mind.
wow,
Way too big. He's all wrong. He's all wrong for Usyk. All wrong for him. The only people I can see giving him trouble is Zhang because he's just as big and powerful. Um, Fury and Joshua. No one else, I think, has any chance with him.
wow. Fair enough. I was about to talk about that Zhang fight. Is that sort of exciting where you look at a guy who's 280 pounds, both guys are 280 pounds,
Yeah.
huge sort of monsters. That's like a 6 round fight. Do you know what I mean? For as good as it can last, that has to be next.
I hope so. Yeah, I think it's the most exciting fight in the heavyweight division right now. I know they're both not like massive names. Like, they're not Joshua Fury. Do you know what I mean? They're not like
Mhm.
that fight is bigger commercially, but Bakole Zhang. I don't know. I think Bakole's got that aura about him. I know the Hunter fight was so long ago now. Everyone's talking about the Hunter fight. That's 6 years ago. That's a
Yeah,
lifetime ago, and he was only 25 at the time. Uh, Zhang is the only fella that I just think it's hard enough to get his respect.
yeah.
Jared Anderson can punch, and he weren't even blinking. It was quite scary, really. I was scared. Bakole and Zhang both. I think about them quite a lot, both of them.
Mhm.
Do you ever think
Yeah.
about them? Do you ever think about them?
In terms of what, like,
Like
yeah.
they might come to your house and get you. Like,
I don't know what I do, mate. I don't know. They're quite, to
yeah,
be fair, they're both nice fellas. So
I was sat at home the other day and I just thought, what would I do if one of them came to my house
yeah.
and I looked at the ring doorbell and they were there and they were really angry? What would we do?
But to be fair, people could say that about you, mate. Like if you came to my door and you were angry, I don't know what I could
We'll get Bakole or Zhang and see
do.
them.
Yeah.
Just they're just scary. Like
Mhm.
we're in an era now of just giant people, and these fellas can fight as well. Like 5 years ago, I was in the heavyweight division, yeah, and I honestly thought, like, look, if I train properly, I can mix it with anyone. But then I look at Bakole and Zhang, and I just think,
Yeah.
I can't. They're too big and powerful and strong. Like worrying, worries me. So yeah, I think that's the fight to make.
Do you not think at a point though their size can be a detriment though? Because if you look at Zhang though in the Parker fights and obviously in the Hogovich fights, there
Yeah,
is points where if you don't get it done in 6 rounds, they do end up tiring. And we haven't yet seen that with Bakole because maybe
yeah,
you could argue he hasn't fought elite competition in
yeah.
terms of that will take him distance. So you mentioned the size there, but is there also to take into a factor that that could come as a detriment of a guy who is durable?
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. What you're saying. I think Bakole. I think Bakole will go 12 rounds, no problem. He's just so
Okay.
relaxed. I think he would have to be careful giving too many shots away, especially with like the likes of Anthony Joshua. But who can go past 6 rounds with him? That's the question. First of all, Zhang's very patient. Like
Yeah.
Zhang is a master boxer, and you
Yeah.
know what? I like boxing boxers because I know what they're gonna do. The textbook. I know what's coming. They're going to throw a jab, they're going to follow by a right hand, and then follow by a left hook. You kind of know what's coming. I love boxing a textbook boxer. It's easy, really, unless they're
Yeah.
really powerful and fast and whatever else. And obviously, it's really hard. But the basic ones are all right. Like Bakole, he threw a triple backhand. Like
Yeah.
when I started boxing, nobody said to me,
Yeah.
someone's got a triple backhand. So he's awkward. He's just relaxed. Like Zhang's upright, and I think Zhang's one of the best heavyweights in the world. But I just think Bakole. I don't know. I really rate him. I really think he's the best heavyweight in the world right now.
Is there a point though where you look at from, as you say, from an Anderson point of view, when you're 24, you're up and coming.
Yeah.
the matchmaking is quite sort of mind blowing to see the sort of Jay
Yeah.
Prince and Top Rank ones. So like, is it fair to be heavily critical on Anderson's team to even try and make that fight?
I've seen lots of stuff online of Anderson saying like he don't want to box for long. He wants to make his money and be out. So maybe they offered him a lot of money and he just said, "Look, I'm taking that." Maybe we won't see Anderson again, you know, or maybe we will, and he'll be chucked in the deep end again for more money and he'll disappear.
Yeah,
But Anderson's fantastic for 24.
yeah,
He's brilliant. I watched him with Bakole, and after when Bakole put him down, he came back 2 or 3 rounds. He was boxing brilliant.
yeah,
Um, I make Anderson a favourite to beat most. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, I think the matching wasn't great, but who knows what's going on behind the scenes? You know, like I say, I've seen loads of things he said, so maybe that was his choice.
Yeah. And do you feel like it's better now than ever, especially on a Bakole point of view, because we know how much Billy Nelson goes to bat for Bakole. So
Mm.
for him to sort of be proved right must be a nice thing as well.
Yeah, Billy Nelson, like I yeah, yeah, but yeah, I guess yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I did just want to just before I do sort of and finish this off, I did want to ask you also about another heavyweight fight, Jarrell Miller against Andy Ruiz. A decent fight, a decent performance from Jarrell Miller. Probably was unlucky not to get the nod. But yeah, I guess what did you make of the fight?
Oh, it was poor really. Um, and again, like I've been guilty of coming in out of shape a few times, but Ruiz just terrible really. Um, like Miller's I don't think Miller's a world beater at all. Like I'd love to
Yeah,
see Miller and Bakole.
yeah,
Because Bakole would go for him in 2 rounds.
yeah,
Ruiz would beat him easy if he was fit. Miller won the fight, didn't he? I thought Miller won the
yeah,
fight
yeah,
comfortably.
yeah,
But he was still poor, I think. He was poor. He could have won it. Why he could have won it a lot easier. He followed him round for 2 minute and 50 seconds and then threw some pitter patter shots in the last 10 seconds. Um, and the crowd were booing Ruiz and cheering Miller. Miller shouldn't be on the shows for a start. You
yeah,
know, lots of drug cheats are on lots of boxing shows, and people say, "Well, you don't call them out." But no drug cheat should be on any boxing show. Miller's in a lot of
yeah.
money, and a lot of people said they wouldn't work with him again, and they are. So, but Miller won the fight, I thought. But I'm not upset he didn't get it, to be honest.
Yeah. When it comes to Andy Ruiz, do you think that there is a part of him that has a future in the sport? Obviously, we know he hurt his hand, but the way that he came in shape, how out of shape, how inactive he's been, is it fair to say, we don't really know what this guy offers for a future in the heavyweight division?
I
If he
think, I
stays
think,
as it is, if he stays as it is,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think in shape he's like a top five heavyweight in the world, no
Mhm.
doubt about it. The way he puts his punches together, the speed and the power and the movement is phenomenal. He's a brilliant fighter, but the other day, like he was terrible, really poor, weren't he? And he weren't even a good
Yeah,
watch either. He's
yeah,
super tough to get through 12 rounds because after 3 rounds, he looked like he wasn't gonna be able to do 12.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, if he comes in that shape again against someone who can Miller can't punch for the size of him. If you were boxing a Bakole the other day, or even an Anderson, like that's a really painful night for him. So either he has to get in shape now, or if I had 20 million quid, yeah, from the Joshua fights, you'll never
yeah,
see me ever again. You'd never
yeah,
see me again. I'm 40 stone on an island somewhere. You ain't seen me ever again.
yeah.
So fair play to him. Because if I had 20 million quid, I ain't boxing Jarrell Miller. No way.
Definitely, yeah. I did just want to touch on what you said about Jarrell Miller there, and obviously him not being able to, not shouldn't be boxing on these shows. Um, I put this question to Frank Smith, and I said, is it sort of bad? Is it sort of a bad light to see, where we see Eddie Hearn is embracing with him, and we all know sort of what happened on his show, what Jarrell Miller done. To see him getting opportunities, and everyone almost sort of there's sort of some weird air of sympathy to Jarrell Miller. Sort of how bad do you think that is as a look for the general sport?
Yeah, I don't like it really. I'm not saying like I shouldn't be on them shows because I'm not good enough, but there's loads of heavyweights that are and they should be on there. There were so many other heavyweights that have never failed a drug test that could have boxed Andy Ruiz. Why
Yeah,
has he got to be Jarrell Miller? Like, I've got nothing against Jarrell Miller personally because I don't know him. He could be a nice guy, and hopefully he is. But why is he on there? Like, why? Like, there's so many world-class heavyweights about. You got 20 or 30 guys you could have picked to box Ruiz, and we'd have been happy with the match. You
Yeah.
know, why Jarrell Miller? What? Because he talks, and how many more eyes does he bring to that show? Really, I'm not
Mm.
watching for Jarrell Miller. Who is? Nobody is.
Yeah.
So it's difficult for me because a lot of people say you're hypocritical because you got friends that failed drug tests, and
Yeah.
I do, and they shouldn't be boxing either. And I would happily tell them this, and probably have to a lot of them in my own time. But out of respect, because they are my friends, I don't. Joel Miller, I don't know him, so I don't mind
Yeah.
saying he shouldn't be boxing. Of course, he shouldn't.
Yeah.
Any drug cheating boxing should not be boxing. Simple as that. My friend or not, they shouldn't be boxing,
Yeah.
but they are. But
Yeah.
um, but yeah, it just annoys me really. I don't understand it. There's so many other heavyweights out there that could have that opportunity that deserve it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, Dave. But yeah, as always, it's always a pleasure to be catching up with you. And before I do end, you're a YouTuber now. I see the YouTube channel
Yeah.
is flying, mate, and I'm absolutely loving to see it.
Do you want to know something? In the last, I think it's about 16, no, 17 days, 250,000 views. Can you believe that?
Mate, that is very good.
It's just me talking into a camera. I've gained like 4,000 subscribers in like 17 days, and it's just me talking to a phone about random stuff, my
Yeah.
fights, like mainly just sparring stories, and I got beat up in all of them as well. Every
Yeah.
single story, really. Um, but yeah, amazing, really. Missus has been on about me for ages. Like, do this YouTube thing. People are like, I said, no one's gonna watch it. So very grateful people are watching it. Yeah, it's amazing, really. So yeah, thank you for everyone that's watching.
No problem. I'm one of them as well. Yeah, Dave,
Thank you
as
very
always,
much.
mate. The link for that will be in the description. But yeah, as always, mate, a real pleasure to be catching up with you. And yeah, well, I'm sure it won't be too long to catch up again, mate. Top
Cheers,
man as
mate.
always. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Cheers, mate.